What's up, Wolverines? I'm Bobby Caballero.
And I'm Christian Cueto, and here's your news for today. As the Christmas season comes to an end, one local organization in Miami is still spreading holiday cheer. Santa's Helpers is making a big difference for the less fortunate families who cannot afford to give their children Christmas presents. Through generous donations and volunteer efforts, this heartwarming group has provided toys, clothes, and smiles to countless children across the community. We take a closer look at how Santa's Helpers is keeping the spirit of giving alive all year long. Nick Salazar shares his heartwarming story.
Even though the Christmas season has passed, the holiday cheer and giving continues. Today we interviewed Santa's Helpers, an organization that gives back to families who can't afford Christmas.
So what inspired us to do this event was when we left high school 22 years ago, we wanted to find a way to help back. We went to our local church, picked 2 families, and it started very, very small. But today we have 50 families that we are helping.
The Christmas season can be quite hectic, and here's how they deal with that problem.
So I think the biggest obstacle we face is that the holiday season is crazy. Everyone has a lot of things going on between, their family events, their work events, their school events. So making sure that everyone, starts this a month in advance is always very difficult.
Finally, they talk about how these families are chosen to receive this blessing.
What we do is we have applications for the families, and all the families have to complete applications, and it's their applications that lets us know what is their family situation and why they deserve to have such a wonderful Christmas, and for us to sponsor them and give them gifts and clothes for the holiday season.
We were able to interview one of the mothers of these families, and she talked about how grateful she was to this organization. First of all, thank you to God and for your guys' help. Because of you, the kids are all happy. We didn't have enough resources before to give this many kids, but now with your help, we are able to. God bless. The Santa's Helpers organization helps many families in need and will grow even bigger next year. From WBLN, I'm Nick Salazar.
And I'm Oliver Flores.
This week is Rebound Week, a celebration of our varsity basketball team. Today is Favorite Hoodie Day, where students can stay cozy and show off their favorite hoodies and sweaters. Tomorrow is March Madness Thursday. Students are encouraged to wear their favorite college basketball gear. Don't forget, our varsity basketball team takes on Southridge at 7:30 p.m. Make sure to come out and support your Wolverines. Friday is Spirit Day. Students must wear gold, while faculty will wear blue. The highly anticipated student-faculty game will take place during Flex, so get ready for some friendly competition. Then, Friday night, our varsity basketball team faces South Miami at 7:30. Let's pack the stands and show support for our Wolverines.
Meet Waldo, our beloved mascot of Belen Jesuit, who first appeared in 1984. The Wolverine was chosen as a symbol of resilience and determination, qualities the school holds dear. The name Waldo came from student and alumni input, giving the mascot a personal touch. Today, Waldo represents school spirit and the rich history of the Belen community. Michael Villa shares his unique story.
In honor of our beloved mascot's anniversary, I decided to answer the question everyone's been asking. Why is his name Waldo? Well, before we ask that question, we have to find out where he came from. I scoured Belen to find the expert on the matter.
Actually, it was a mistake on the part of a Jesuit who didn't know English very well. And he looked at the coat of arms of St. Ignatius that has 2 wolves. And then he said, since they were little ones, he thought that a big wolf was a wolf and a little wolf was a wolverine. And that's why we got this horrible mascot that is absolutely no relationship with a wolf. People have asked me, so where did the name Waldo come from? I said, I have no idea.
Still, no answer for the origin of Waldo's name. So, I decided to look deeper into the case. If anyone knew where his name came from, it would be one of his creators. I sat in on an anonymous call with the original Waldo to find answers.
Could you give us an insight into the origins of Waldo as a mascot?
Yeah, so basically our president and Albert Fernandez, at that time student council president, vice president Albie, Arasosa, the VP, said that we needed to somehow spruce up our pregame, something festivities, pep rallies, we would call them, you know. And we said, hey, we got to get a mascot, whatever. So we decided to. They had enough money in the budget to go and rent, you know, the first Waldo costume, and then they invited me to basically be that first Waldo.
When you were selected as the first Waldo, what was it like? You know, it was a new thing. So how did it feel?
I remember them. Albie didn't even have. We didn't even have a name for it. Like we were going out. It's pep rally time. The name hadn't even come out. So the funny story is that, you know, Albie just in his infinite wisdom, you know, 17-year-old mind just said, and here's Waldo the Wolverine, you know, and it's just like it just came out.
Wow.
And then it stuck.
You
Then
know,
it's just stuck, you know.
I've asked every single person who's ever been, you know, involved in Belen since the 80s, why is his name Waldo? And you are the first person to ever give me an actual response of why his name is Waldo.
That's it. That's how it came up. It's just one of those things that you just, you know, inspired last minute ingenuity, and Albie came out and just introduced me as Waldo the Wolverine, and that's the way it came out. But it was funny because later on we say, hey, why'd you say Waldo? Whatever. He goes, man, that's just what came out of my mouth. It rhymed a little bit. WW, you know. Wow. Who's looking for Waldo? You know, the character. You know. And that's how it came out.
What is your opinion on the evolution of our mascot, right? Like, we just came out with a new design, and
I think, I need to see the new one. I've been excited for the new one. I like I told you, I wasn't really ecstatic about the ones in previous years. The mascot has evolved, which is normal. Been a lot of years already. I mean, we just celebrated our 40th year as a class. So, you know, each class or each decade needs to, you know, make their own of the mascot. There was one class, I believe, because I had heard about it also, that introduced Walderina, and they brought in, and supposedly they got married or something. I don't know how that turned out, but they gotta, you know, it evolves. You gotta turn it into a story. And
right. It's like it's a pop culture character. It's awesome.
What's Waldo doing this year? You know, every year, you know, he got something else comes up. You know, something like that. You know, it's got to be changing.
Administration and Belen in general has tried to streamline Waldo, you know, like putting him on like more sleek designs. But you know, I think we've lost, you know, the character a little bit. You know, we haven't really seen him in the hallways as much. So maybe we should do that in the future.
It's tough because it's got to be us. It's a student, you know. It's not somebody who's hired to do it, you know, and they got to have the time, and it's, you know, they got to, you know, you got to pick somebody that wants to get into that character, and, you know, share with the school and get people excited for, hey, you know, what's this guy going to be doing today, and, you know, create some excitement, right?
I think there's kids in our school and in our future generations that would, you know, be open to that. We just need to let them.
For WBLN, I'm Michael B.
A new study reveals that the recent fires in Los Angeles were larger and more intense due to planet-warming fossil fuel pollution. Research from scientists at UCLA indicates that climate change factors have been building for years. 2 consecutive wet winters led to the growth of excessive vegetation, but a hot summer and a delayed rainy season caused the vegetation to dry out, creating perfect conditions for fires to spread rapidly. The study notes that these fires likely still would have occurred without the climate pollution, but they would have been smaller and less intense.
10, 9.
In other news, a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket successfully launched early Wednesday morning from Kennedy Space Center, carrying not 1, but 2 lunar landers. The first, named Blue Ghost, is a 6.6-foot-tall lander that is part of NASA's mission to return humans to the moon. The second lander, slightly larger at 7.5 feet tall, comes from the Japanese company iSpace, which plans to deliver payloads to the moon for paying customers. Blue Ghost is expected to reach the moon in 45 days after spending 25 days orbiting Earth and then several weeks in lunar orbit. While iSpace has not provided a specific timeline, the company estimates its lander will take 4 to 5 months to reach the moon's surface.
T plus 30 seconds into launch, Falcon 9 has successfully...
What's up, Wolverines? I'm Gabriel Vick, and here's your weather for today. Today there's a low of 57 and a high of 75. It's going to be chilly during the whole week this week, so make sure to bring your sweaters. And now to sports.
What's up, Wolverines? I'm Carlos Segura, and here are your sports for today. Last night, the NFL wildcard game, the 4-seeded Los Angeles Rams handed a brutal loss to the 5th-seeded Vikings, 27-9. The Rams won the regular season matchup between the two teams and carried that momentum over to the playoffs. Sam Darnold tied a playoff record, getting sacked 9 times. Not the kind of record you want to be setting. In NBA news, last night, we saw 2 40-point performances. Trae Young had 43 in a 122-117 Atlanta victory over the Suns, and in a blowout victory for the Nuggets, Jamal Murray had 45. The Heat continue their West Coast road trip tonight, facing off against my king, LeBron James, and the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers had their Saturday game postponed due to the fires, making this their second game back. Belen basketball had their first of 3 games this week last night, facing off Miami High. The Wolverines lost 40-61 and hope to change their fate in their 2 upcoming games this week. The Wolverines' defense was as consistent as always, but shots just weren't falling last night. Tonight, soccer takes on Palmetto at the De La Cruz Stadium, coming off a tie against the nationally ranked Gulliver on Monday. The Wolverines are looking to make quick work of the Panthers. That's all for your sports today. Now back to the guys at the desk.
Thanks, Carlos. Just January 16th is our Give Back Blood Drive. The blood drive will take place in the Innovation Lobby. If you have any questions, please see Ms. Prieto. That's all your news for today. Remember, stay safe
and stay golden, Wolverines.